How's it going, everybody? All you action figure collectors out there. My name is Michael Henley. This is my first go around with trying to do anything on YouTube, basically, man. I really just got hip to YouTube. I know it's been around for 10, 11 years, really about a year ago. Well, not, let me take that back. Not a year ago, about 2-3 years ago. My girlfriend, basically my wife, she watched it a lot. I never really watched it for content wise. And then when the pandemic came, I didn't know that there was such a huge action figure community on YouTube. It was like a whole nother world opened up to me. It's August now, so actually 1 year ago in August is when I first seen Charlamagne Prime show. I used to watch his show a lot. I still do, but things have gotten opened up to me to where I kind of spread it around. Foosh is really good. That's almost like watching a real TV show like Talk Soup. I have a way of liking to display my action figures. I really don't do shelves or things of that nature. I like to display my action figures on fold-out tables, 6 foot, 8 foot long fold-out tables, and they're stacked back about 10 rows deep. So when you look at how I display my action figures, it's almost like a sea of people. For everybody who's into comic books and things of that nature, Walmart sells a poster. It's changed now to where it's the Avengers front and center, but it used to be the X-Men. And on those posters, you would have the whole universe up there. Wolverine used to be front and center, and now that's replaced with Captain America or Iron Man, and then you have the X-Men team, and then it'll branch out there. And then in the background of these massive photo shoots, you say with all the heroes, you will see your Captain America, your Iron Man, pretty much everybody who's was in the background then is in the front now. And everybody who's in the front now is in the background then. But basically, let's start from the beginning. I was born on July 11th, 1983, so 38 years old. Really, the first cartoon I gravitated on and brought action figures for was, you could say, G.I. Joe, because my older brothers had them. I remember in 1986, my brother Darius had a Beachhead action figure, Beachhead figure. I remember just running around with that. I distinctly remember that because of that green ski mask he had on. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. And then also Ninja Turtles. When it comes to action figures, when I was a child, G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles was my, you say my two main lines that I collected, even though I didn't know I was collecting. You just compiling toys and they go into a shoebox. I know G.I. Joes were good for being in a shoebox in my household, under the bed, had 50 in it. We had them all. We had Zaymon, Tomax, those, and I'm just spitting off the ones I know I had. I had a Storm Shadow, and like I said, the age group I'm in, my first Storm Shadow was the second or third version. Matter of fact, I think it's the shitty version everybody hates of Classified right now. Actually, that resonates with me a little bit, even though I wasn't crazy over that. I wanted an all-white suit, Storm Shadow, but it resonated with me because that was my actual first Storm Shadow. Ninja Turtles is the first thing I distinctly remember begging my mom in the store to buy. I remember my grandma Minnie brought me one down at a Roses a long time ago. That Rose is still open. Matter of fact, I don't see how, because Roses is horrible looking. It's basic Family Dollar. But they sold action figures. They sold top line action because that's what type of store they was back in the day. But those are the two lines that resonated towards me. And then when I got a little older, let's say 94, how old was I? 94. I was 11 years old. I was always an avid reader, so I read a lot of comic books. I distinctly remember begging my mother for, can I get around my time, a comics book called $1, $1.25, $1.50, $1.75 they got up there, and then I was like, wow, when you start going into like a deluxe issue, $2.25, and you're like, man, I done spent some money on just one book, which today, people, that ain't nothing. $1 is basically like a penny in today's money. But to get back with that, I fell into X-Men animated series, and I'm a die-hard X-Men fan. When it comes to the Marvel Universe, that's my go-to. Of course, I read everything else across the board, but X-Men and Wolverine was my go-to guy. I love Wolverine. He has the spirit of somebody with a lot of heart. Not very big, but he will scrap anybody. And the biggest thing what people don't notice about Wolverine is like he wins some fights, but he gets his ass whooped a lot. his resilience. He can take a beating and still stay in there. You'll lose trying to beat him. You probably wear yourself out trying to beat him because you can't really kill him. I'm seeing his eyeballs hang out his head, all types of things, and push it back in and keep brawling because of that healing factor. And then under that is a adamantium skeleton, which is like vibranium, toughest metal in the world. I don't even know if adamantium is actually a real metal. I never took the time to do some research on that and see is that real. But I highly doubt it. But as a kid, you hate Cyclops. But as an adult, I became Cyclops. Cyclops, he was a real stickler. He was always, hey, you can't do this, and Wolverine, you gotta get here on time, and you know what I'm saying, you like, man, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But when you become an adult, you can't be a Wolverine. You can't lead a team on some reckless shit. You gotta be tight, you gotta be nice, you gotta be on point, you gotta be the voice of reason for your guys, man. You always need that. And in my later years, I found out how fuck this guy so much heavy. I like him. And in a Marvel vs. Capcom, and I know I'm just kind of going randomly, but if it like the clips of Push T say, if you know, you know. They gave him some hands on that game, and that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to follow a leader who can't fight? On that Marvel vs. Capcom 2, when he throw that brown coat off, him and Captain America, they gave them the best hands on that game, man. That's just a one-off thing. But as far as X-Men, those were my go-to people. So basically told you a little rundown of my childhood and where my place is. As far as action figures and collecting and that part, but let's fast forward. I think we probably left off 95 X-Men animated series. Let's fast forward to 2003, because by that time I'm 19 years old, and I actually started collecting Marvel Legends back then. I really did. I was going on toy hunts and I didn't even know it. I was doing action figure poses and I did not know it. What gravitated me towards them is I went to Walmart one time, and just me being a comic book guy, just loving that type of stuff, I just walked through the toy aisle and I seen these figures. I'm like, yo, these is pretty dope. So I picked one up. I don't know which one it was. I know I was buying them around the time Mr. Fantastic Four with the Fantastic Car, Colossus, the Magneto. So that's the time I was buying a Nick Fury. So I don't know which one I brought, but when I broke them out the pack, I'm like, yo, these shits is way better than what I used to buy when I was a kid, or what was brought for me. Those were 5-inch figures with, now that you say it's limited articulation, but you thought it was the best shit in the world when Toy Biz was making them. But this Marvel Legends, they could bend, they could squat, and then from there, I remember I brought one, and I can still kind of remember this day to this day. Once I brought that one, I went back to that store like 3 or 4 times, and next thing you know, they cost $6 or $7. Then I had spent about $100, and I thought I was a crazy person, to be honest with you. I'm like, no, what type of grown man, which I really was. I'm 19, still a grown man, because that's the way I was moving. But what type of grown man would spend $100 on action figures? And I just sum it up to the point, I love this shit. I didn't know it did. I didn't know I'd get back to it like this, but I loved it. And I just remember for about a month straight, man, me and my older brother Jamal, every day we come home work, we make a new scene. We post them up on the coffee table, and we leave out, and we get back, and it'd be another scene. Basically what people are doing now, and what probably was been doing, I didn't know. I'm kind of like I live in my own bubble, basically. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I watch the world from the HOV lane. Everybody else going like this, and I'm just sitting back, just watching. You know, still indulging in life, but you know, I don't really interact with other people to know that, you know, that wow, you know, this is a passion that everybody else has. But to make a long story short on that, I gave them all. After a while, I kind of got on, you know, my really grown man stuff. I'm like, hey, look, man, I don't even fucking want these toys, and I gave them to my nephews. And they did exactly what they were supposed to do to them. They hung them from the ceiling, they played with them, they played with them until they broke them. And they actually had them around for a while, because I remember like 8 or 9 years later, this is maybe about 2009, 2010, they was about teenagers then, or if they wasn't teenagers already, I would see pieces of those action figures still around. I'm like, alright, that's what's up. So I was collecting Marvel Legends before I didn't even know what collection was. And so let's fast forward from that, from 2003 all the way to 2015. This is a huge gap now. You're talking about 12 years before I even brought a comic book or action figure. By this time, I've lost my entire comic book collection just from moving around, being a young man. And of course, I don't have any action figures to my name. I don't own not one around this time, 2014. So I basically get into speeding up to now. As far as my collection, I collect a wide range. It started out with Marvel Legends, and Legends, I was hard on Marvel Legends, like, you know, just buying. And Marvel Legends, to me, I've actually kind of gotten bored with Marvel Legends. Everything I said I wouldn't do, even with the new Ninja Turtle toys, like the NECA movie ones, which are dope action figures, the Super 7s, they're dope action figures. Everything I said I wasn't going to collect, I've collected now. I have everything from Marvel Legends to Ninja Turtles. You see in the shirt, crazy about G.I. Joe Classified. Just to get on them real quick, I was just like every other collector. About a year ago, I seen them. What I said, those are not my G.I. Joes. I'm used to the small versions. And I believe I brought a Destro last August, or Snake Eyes, and from then on, it's just been popping. Though that first wave is actually the weaker figures out of all of them, because when you got a G.I. Joe Classified in your hand, it almost feels like an import. The way the plastic, or it feels like rubber that they use for their vests, it just has a real authentic feel to it. Doesn't feel hollow. It moves nice. Straight out the bat. If I do a top 10 this year, which I probably will, be Cobra Trooper probably number one. If not Cobra Trooper or something from the G.I. Joe Classified line, I have literally watched grown men cry about that shit this year. Like, and that lets you know it's good, because they're up there crying about the release dates, which is it's hell on wheels with all that stuff. And I brought some from Scalper Island and on eBay, and you know, because I just didn't think it was coming back around. And when Target came out with the Geek Out sale, I definitely got my money's worth out of it. Then I even double, tripled up on some of the figures I bought off eBay for the high. But great action figure line. Number one, that $20 figure can rival with some $100 figures that I've brought all day. You definitely get your bang for your buck. It's just they just have a something going on with just release dates. Their waves are small. There's 2 figures, 1 figure here. Target exclusive. And let me tell you something about Target. Why the Target exclusive? Why that line was so hard to get? Because I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's not a one-stop light city, but it's not huge. It has about 300,000-400,000 people here. And maybe that's including the metro, that give or take, maybe 500,000. But we have about 11, 12 Walmarts and one Target, and I've never to this day seen a G.I. Joe Classified in there, ever. Found Turtles in Disguise in there, NECA, hard NECA stuff that was hard to find. I found it in there, but that Classified, to this day, I've never seen a G.I. Joe Classified in Fayetteville Target. Not online, nowhere. So when I buy from eBay something like that, it's almost like I'm forced to do it. Not forced to do it because I'm a grown man, decide what I want to do, but I want it so bad that I went on eBay. And shout out to whoever sold it to me, man. You made some bread. You found a figure I couldn't get a hold of. I found some figures I'm pretty sure no other people could get a hold of. But you know, I ain't mad I made that choice and I did it. But make a long story short, great line. But as far as my action figures, they stretch from a wide range. I have everything from horror figures to pop figures to Marvel Legends is the heavier part, but all the other figures are starting to overcome the Marvel Legends. And when I set up my table, it's just like you get invited into just this world. I swear to God, in my old house, when my table was set up, I would just be stuck looking at it. Because you can see Raul standing next to Batman, which is standing next to Mario, which is standing next to Jason Voorhees. You know what I'm saying? Just something crazy like that. And then you'll start going through and looking through the wave of people, man. You'll just be stuck. You'll be looking at it forever, man. But And that was the whole thing. Like, I've been thinking about this show for a year. Today is August 28th, 2021. I've been thinking about this show since August 2020, and I really beefed up my action figure collection in between then, because I was telling my girl, I was like, you know what? I got all these action figures, and me, I'm always thinking, all these people living in my house, I'm about to put you to work. You know what I'm saying? I got about a couple hundred action figures. They about to make me some money or do something or entertain me one. So with the show, The Savage Land, later on did I think about just bringing content to it, just talking, things of that nature, because I want to. To me, collecting action figures is almost like hip hop, like the beginning of hip hop. Like, I want to grab a mic and I want to rip in the park too. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about it. I want to express my feelings and actions towards what I love, a passion. But the initial plan for this show was to do the stop motion show, which I still am. You know, I pretty much work on it when I can. I'm a one man team right now, but which I just got ants in my pants. I can't wait to get content out there. So I want to talk and explain about it, and then stop motion will come eventually. Basically, Savage Land is basically be a superhero city world where, you know, all pop figure superheroes, only the strong survive type city, where it's a city set up just mostly with superheroes. And basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some people good, some people bad, and vice versa, who are used to being in those roles. And basically taking all of these characters that I got, they're almost like puppets or Muppets, and making them to my own comic book, making my own storyline to go with them. So I'm not going to talk on it too much right now. You know, eventually I will get that to you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, this thing I'm doing is not for money, anything like that, because I work for a living. It's true. It's truly from the heart, and it's truly art. But I want to put my all into it. But like I say, this is the first part. This is really Savage Land 0.0. What you're watching right now, and hey, can't wait to show you this table build. See you in a bit.